I am the Space Ninja. I'm on here today with Shaskin. Say hello, Shaskin.
Hello.
Hey, alright. So, you don't know what we're doing today, do you?
Don't really have a clue. I have just my suspicions. Probably it has absolutely nothing to do with Star Trek. Probably this is one of your shenanigan videos. I don't know.
Always shenanigans. Always shenanigans. So I need a drink. But, what we're doing today is a lightsaber review. Yeah, no, so you may have heard of it, the Goliath Power Saber. It is the first of its kind. It's the very first lightsaber that automatically extends and retracts, and it should be pretty interesting. I'm curious to see what you think of it. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is not a box opening video, so I have opened it already. This was the box, and it's just a basic box. There's not really a lot to say about it. I know some people are really into the box work, but it's not really something that I care about. So we're gonna kind of gloss over that. It's just a box as far as I'm concerned, right?
What company is it from?
Goliath. Copyright 2024 Goliath. Yeah.
It's not from like Art Sabers or anything?
No. Actually, this one came from Walmart. They've been out for a little while. They've been out a little bit longer than I've been aware of them. These first came onto my radar about a month ago, and I started seeing some reviews on YouTube. But it wasn't until I watched Retro Blasting's video. Shout out to Retro Blasting, by the way. He makes great content. You guys should check him out. I watched his video on the Power Saber, and yeah, he pushed me over. You know, I was on the, like I said, I was on the fence, but he convinced me to go ahead and get one. I'm not going to reiterate a bunch of stuff that he said. If you guys are interested, you should definitely check his video out. He had more information than any other video I've ever seen about this saber, including like the guy that, you know, information about the guy that created it, and why it's not an official Disney product, why it doesn't have any Star Wars branding on it whatsoever, and all that sort of stuff. There's a bunch of legal stuff that he's able to explain a lot better than I could. So, Shaskin, as some of my audience may know from our previous lightsaber review videos, you collect sabers too. We collect for different reasons. We both have different tastes. But what do you think? Have you seen anything about this lightsaber online already?
No.
So it's a pretty basic hilt. I mean, I like it. It's clearly a lightsaber, you know? I mean, like, lightsabers are, you know, not complicated. They're more distinctive than a flashlight. You know, they got a little more flair than a flashlight, you know what I mean? It has a built-in belt clip, which is nice. It is a lot chunkier. You know, this is more, I've never actually held one from Savvy's Workshop, but I would guess that this is about the size of the Savvy's Workshop ones, compared to, you know, this tiny, thin hilt.
Workshop is quite thick.
Yeah, this thing's beefy.
It really depends on the parts that you choose and how you construct it.
Right.
I really wish that Savvy's Workshop would have worked on sabers that can retract. But,
well, that's what everybody's saying about this one. Everybody is just dumbfounded, including myself. I am completely blown away that Hasbro said no to this. You guys gotta watch Retro Blasting's video to understand all that, but it's mind-boggling to me that this is a product that is now on the market that somehow didn't get snatched up by Star Wars. You know, it has no Star Wars branding on it, and it's called the Power Saber, right? It's got a good weight to it. It doesn't feel like it's super fragile. I certainly wouldn't want to drop it. It is plastic, of course, but I am surprised by how good it feels. I will tell you this, it's not spinnable. You cannot spin this. The balance is all messed up on it. It feels like there's a lot of weight right here. This is where the battery compartment is, so that makes sense. Big heavy motor right here too. So it is heavy, and it's not balanced right. You want to see this thing work?
Yeah.
Alright. Back up here.
In your opinion, what makes it power?
Oh, from the name? The Goliath Power Saber? Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah.
I think it's just a name they chose because they couldn't call it a lightsaber because that's copyrighted. I mean, it works for me. You know, it's not. There's way worse names that you could have used, right? So there's the little black button right there is power. The activation switch is here. So what you have to do, you don't just press it. You have to sort of press it and push up towards the emitter at the same time. And same when you turn it off. You push it in and kind of push it down. And it makes the blade go in and out. Observe. Dude, I'm telling you. It's a toy, okay? It is what it is. That's one of the reasons... it's so satisfying, though. But that is one of the reasons why I was on the fence about buying this, because it is a toy. So, it seemed like 50, 60 bucks was a bit much for a toy. But then, for a number of reasons, Retro Blasting's video, and I decided, yeah, it's worth it. It's the first of its kind. For that reason alone, it's worth it. The guy that invented it is, obviously a big fan. I decided I wanted to support that whole endeavor. And also, just to kind of thumb my nose at Disney a little bit, to be honest with you. Like, this should have been theirs, So rather than buy something from them, I'm going to buy the superior product.
Do they offer different colors other than green?
It comes in green and red.
Can you activate it again?
Yeah, definitely. It's not very long. It's only maybe 2. You know what? Let's measure it. The blade is exactly 2 feet from tip to, the emitter spot right there. Exactly 2 feet, which is not very long at all. It has no smooth swing, It's just one swing effect. But I honestly... Actually, it's 2 swing effects. It sounds like it's got a slower one. Yeah. You hear that? There's a slower one and a faster one. Actually, the faster... That's quite responsive.
The one from the Savage Workshop pretty much only has one sound.
I wonder how many of those extension and retractions I'm gonna get for $50 before it stops working. I am curious about that. But it's... Wow! It feels surprisingly robust for what it is. It does have, I don't want to hit it too hard, but... Yeah. And it's kind of got a bit of a flash on clash there. It flickers a little more rapidly. And I don't know if you can tell on this camera, but it does... I can't really see it on the TV screen, but it is a very slow, light pulse. While it's just idly humming, it is pulsing slightly. So, I mean, that's a heck of a lot of features packed into this thing,
But it seems like the light doesn't reach the tip of the blade that well.
No, it doesn't. I don't know if you can really see on this camera, but there are... This way. So... Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. But each section, it's really hard to see on camera. You see the really bright spot right there? Though each one of these bright spots, there's like a big plastic ring in there, which I guess is part of the whole mechanism. But I mean, you can see each one of these sections. Like every time it hits one of those, it dims a bit. Honestly, I don't know how this works, but I would love to know how this works. What is the actual mechanism that's making it extend? Because I don't see any strings or anything inside there. I don't know. These are not being advertised as far as I can tell. I only learned about their existence through, through YouTube videos, and it seems like they're only being advertised through word of mouth. So if you guys have heard about these and you're not sure about it, or if you haven't heard about it at all, it is the very first of its kind, fully extending and retracting on its own.
I don't think I would buy it.
Really?
Yeah, I'll tell you why.
Alright, yeah, no. Yeah, I want to hear.
I wouldn't buy it because I would have the urge to take it apart.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could always get two. It does come in a red and a green. I'm impressed enough with this one that I almost want to get the matching set. Some other YouTubers have pointed out, too, that this has got more than enough detail in the molding. There's plenty of opportunities here for customizing if you wanted to paint it, weather it, make it your own, you know?
Kind of makes me wonder which Jedi would have a saber of that particular build.
Yeah, I don't know.
My instincts tell me that would be cool.
You know, not to shoot down what you just said or anything, but it's not something that I've ever really thought about too much. Okay, let me rephrase that actually. When in my fandom, you know, whether it be Star Trek or Star Wars, if I go to a convention, you know, I put on my uniform or something, I'm not trying to be any of the characters. You know what I mean? I'm just my own character. I'm not trying to dress up as Data or Worf or, you know, and when it comes to Star Wars, I'm not trying to be Obi-Wan or Anakin. I'm just, you know, my own person. In fact, I almost kind of don't want the specific Jedi's hilt, just for that reason. Like, that's not my hilt, you know what I mean?
Well, I do the same thing when I go to Savvy's workshop and I build a saber. I'm building it for me.
Right. That's what's cool about Savvy's workshop.
But my plan is to have all of the sets.
Oh, like every single one?
Sets. And to have all the sets. That way, I can take parts and pieces and reconstruct. So there could be pieces from, you know, like Peace and Protection, you know, the dark side.
You know, actually, I heard that Savvy's Workshop sets are not cross-compatible. I heard that you can't mix the pieces from one set with the pieces from another set. Is that true?
I'll find a way.
You'll find a way?
But I've never heard anybody say that one piece is not compatible with another, you know, stuff like that.
Hey, I've never even been to Savvy's Workshop. I'm only saying what I've, you know, seen on YouTube, so I don't know.
I've never heard of it, but that retractable saber, I would not be the least bit surprised if that's going to be a game changer.
Yeah, it should be. It should be. I feel like it should be getting a lot more hype. So, okay, here's the thing. I think the reason, if I had to guess, okay, you know, I'm no social expert, you know, on social politics and whatnot, but if I had to guess, I would say that the reason why it's not getting a lot more hype, this product right here, is probably just because people are just like, it's about time, you know, what took you so long, you know? It's kind of, it's almost too late, you know? Especially after what Disney has done to the franchise, you know?
Well, one of the things that I'm thinking is I would not be the least bit surprised if Disney tries to go after that guy for creating.
They can't. There's plenty of knockoff lightsabers out there. Tons of companies that make, you know, cheap laser swords or light up glow swords. They can't go after them for that. It's totally legal.
Cares about what they can't do. They're gonna try.
Well, I mean, they don't go after all the millions of other toy lightsabers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the thing is, the retractable lightsaber that they created for the Star Cruiser, they're not going to want to have a knockoff like that out there.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the Star Cruiser one, I'm very familiar with the one you're talking about. If y'all haven't seen it, check it out. It's easy to find on YouTube. Disney's retractable lightsaber, that's all you gotta search. But it doesn't look like a toy. You know what I mean? This looks like a toy. Okay? This looks a bit less like a toy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is what Disney's one looks like. It looks not like a toy. So, as far as Disney going after them just for the fact that it's extendable and retractable, Disney had their chance. I'm telling you, Shaskin, you gotta watch Retro Blasting's video. It's 15 minutes long, so it's not a huge time investment. And I really like him a lot just because, see for yourself, you don't gotta take my word for it. I like his content. He does all toy videos. Yeah. Just a bit
One of the
there.
things that I got recently is one of the Jedi holocrons.
Oh, those look really nice.
So I've actually bought some of the fabric crystals.
Ah, what colors did you get?
All of them.
All of them? You got a black one too?
Not yet.
Ah.
It's really hard to find a black one.
So I'm told. Yeah, that's what I've heard from
But
YouTube.
apparently,
Yeah.
The thing is that I believe you're 100% right when you said that Disney had their chance.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like I said, you gotta watch Retro Blasting's video, but they had their chance. They worked with the guy, according to Retro Blasting, they worked with the guy for like more than 2 years, and then they just dropped him with no publicly stated reason why. So...
They do that all the time. You know, it's one of those products that if the creator of this product, if he doesn't stop his research, if he doesn't stop his development, and keeps improving on that product, then it's going to be something that I believe Disney is crazy, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
They're going to want to get their hands on it.
They had their chance. He had a good contract, so when they dropped him, when Hasbro dropped him, he was able to retain full ownership of the intellectual property. So that's how it still made it to market. Yeah, he was smart.
But when you the device to extend the blade and retract the blade, is there any vibration or?
No, actually it's very satisfying. You know, like, the motor is a little loud, but it's not, I mean, honestly, like, so, I mean, to me, that's just, you can hear it collapsing, you can hear it extending, you can hear that motor, you can hear the plastic, right? But it's blended with the sound that's coming out of the speaker, and so it all just kind of sounds like, to me, it sounds cool, you know? Here, listen again. You see what I mean? Like, it just sounds like it's part of the experience. It doesn't bother me at all. It's great. It's a lot more satisfying. I still wonder how many of those I'm gonna get on and off before this thing craps out on me. I paid $50 through Walmart, and now 50 plus tax. I've seen it advertised online for $60. So if you can find it for, you know, $50 or $49.99 or something like that, you're getting a better deal, obviously. But it is. I wouldn't. You know, I'm really scared to even tap it to activate the clash effect. But at the same time, it doesn't feel like trash. What I'm trying to say is, it feels robust. It feels much sturdier than, I don't want to say more sturdy than I was expecting, but yeah, kinda more sturdy than I was expecting, honestly.
Would you use it as a cosplay?
For sure. It could be used as a prop. I mean, obviously, that blade doesn't look nearly as good on camera as like a NeoPixel blade. It's, you know, nothing's ever going to. Hell, they even use the NeoPixel blades in official Star Wars movies now, so.
Yeah, don't get me started on what they did with Ahsoka.
I know. Don't get me started either.
A lot of people don't like that series, but frankly, I do.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't watched Ahsoka, and I haven't watched Andor, and I haven't watched The Acolyte. I watched the Obi-Wan series.
Good one.
And I watched The Mandalorian. I did not watch the Book of Boba Fett. I have not seen the Clone Wars. I have not seen Rebels. Listen, people always assume that I'm like a Star Wars expert. And I get that. Like, I'm the guy that carries a lightsaber on my side everywhere I go. But the thing is I'm a fan of lightsabers, not so much Star Wars. I mean, I like the movies. I've seen almost all the main movies except for the Solo movie. I haven't seen the Solo movie. I've seen all the other movies, but I've only seen the main movies. I haven't really seen much of the extra stuff besides Obi-Wan and The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian was the best thing ever, honestly. It was so good.
I like the Clone Wars, and the thing is, I really enjoyed Rebels, and that's probably why I enjoyed Ahsoka. At the same time, you know, those of us who have seen the movies look at a product like that, and the first thing that goes through my mind is that if the technology was there, would they use CGI or would they use a practical effect like that?
They would use whichever one is ultimately cheaper. That's the cop-out answer, but it's the honest answer. It's the truthful answer. I've seen, you know, Corridor Crew did a great lightsaber video once a while back. I'm not talking about the duel video. I'm talking about one where they broke down the special effects of how the lightsaber effect was originally done. In the original Star Wars, that was all done in camera. That was a practical effect. There was no computer generation at all on that, which is pretty cool. It still holds up today, in my opinion.
A New Hope?
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, I just believe that products like that, if this inventor continues with his research and continues with his development, that product will get to the point where that's going to be the standard for future sabers.
That's what I'm hoping for. You know, I already had that same exact thought too. I said, you know, this is version 1. If they keep going, imagine how cool this thing will be by version 3, you know, or maybe even the next version. Yeah, that's exciting to think about.
If he could figure out how to make the light in the blade equal all the way.
If you could figure out how to do this in the style of Disney's retractable saber, but have it be robust enough that you can still kind of tap it and lightly duel with it, oh man.
My final thought is that I believe that's a good buy for 2 reasons. One, if you want to use it as a cosplay, where you want to...
I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. The thing is, if you want to go somewhere and you want the blade out, and you just want to amaze people by retracting it...
Exactly.
That's a good buy.
Yeah.
Second reason why it's a good buy. It's version 1.
Yeah.
Which means that if he comes out with a version 2 or a version 3 or a version 4, you could be like, well, I have version 1.
Yup.
And then later down the road, if you get version 2 or version 3, you can compare the differences. That's just my thought.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just the idea of more of these to come that are even better, you know, more refined, more robust, more expensive, I'm sure, but I mean, yeah. It's an expensive hobby, what can I say? Yeah, it is pretty exciting. Like, I can't believe these aren't getting a lot more hype. And like I said, I think that's just because people are just kind of like, big surprise, you know, Disney blew it again, you know? Why haven't we gotten one of these 10 years ago? You know, that sort of thing. It's like, it's about time. It's basically just about freaking time. And people are just kind of shaking their heads in disbelief that it's only just happening now, and it's not even a freaking official Star Wars product. How does something like this happen, Shaskin? Seriously.
You want an honest answer?
Yeah.
When you have somebody in charge of Lucasfilm that can screw up something so iconic as Indiana Jones, I think I just gave you the answer.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does start at the top.
The people at the top making the decisions are just a bunch of derps. You're exactly right. They're just in there going derp, 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 derp.
The thing is that when they don't take into consideration what does the customer want,
Right.
and yet they keep bringing out these things that the customers don't want, and then they get angry because the customer doesn't want it.
And you know, that's par for the course in a way. I feel like companies never really understand their customers or what they want.
And the thing is, it would be interesting to talk to the inventor of that particular product and ask him very simple. Were you paying attention to what the customers were talking about? Were you paying attention to what Star Wars fans were looking for when it comes to certain products?
Right.
Is this the reason why you set your mind to this? And I would not be the least bit surprised if you would be like, yes, that's exactly right.
Right. Well, people just can't make legitimate, even legitimate criticisms are always met with, attacks now. So.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? I'll tell you what I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna be giving Disney any more of my money. Last time I gave Disney money for anything Star Wars, I think it was when I went to the theater to see the second one.
You mean The Last Jedi?
Yeah, I don't know what I don't know what it was called. Disney's 3 Star Wars movies of the main, the numbered ones. Rogue One was fine, and I didn't see Solo at all. But the 3 numbered ones just blew goats. Like, they were awful. So I don't even know the titles of them. I don't even care about them. I don't consider them to even be canon. So here's my whole thing. What irritates me is this mindset that what's canon is whoever owns the property says is canon. Right? So if Disney says it's canon because Disney owns the property right now. I don't agree with that philosophy at all.
That's the first mistake that, I don't want to mention her name, but the head of Lucasfilm did when Disney took over, was to basically tell the entire fandom that what George Lucas put in place is no longer canon.
Right.
The extended universe and those stories and everything, it's like they'll just throw them out the window, and then they turn around and say they start borrowing it, and it doesn't fit because you already told people that it's not canon.
Right.
So they're trying to put it into their movies.
Oh yeah, don't even get me started about that. I hate the way they said the whole extended universe is not canon, and then they started cherry picking from it. So like, which is it? Is it canon or is it not canon? You don't get to say it's not canon and cherry pick from it, you assholes. That's a bit harsh. I apologize. That's a bit harsh, but it's just how I feel. They're not a-holes for doing that, but they're not very smart for doing that.
Well, they messed up in The Force Awakens because they had several opportunities to bring the original characters and have them work together like they
I know.
do.
No, it was more important to them. They didn't want to just bring in new characters, their own new characters for people to like. No, they had to assassinate the old legacy characters. Yeah. No, Disney's choices have been one baffling choice after another, and I don't want to talk about it because it'll just get me more triggered. But I do want to say this, though. You mentioned the very first mistake they made being to, you pay billions of dollars to own this intellectual property, and then first thing you do is immediately throw away half of it? Why? Right? But Disney buying Star Wars was not the first time that happened in Star Wars. And I'll tell you I'll tell you a story real quick what happened to me. And this is one of the reasons why I fell out of early on. I was a huge Star Wars fan when I was a kid, dude. But it was right around high school when the prequels came out. Shortly thereafter is when I fell off of wanting to watch every single Star Wars thing that comes out. You know, I'm a lot more picky about it now. I don't just watch it just because it has the Star Wars name. And that started with the Clone Wars. Do you remember Star Wars The Clone Wars? The two-part cartoon before the Clone Wars series.
Oh, yeah.
Right? That was so good. It was really, really good. And then all of a sudden they said, no, it was okay, but it's not real now. It never happened. Now we're gonna do this long-running series instead. That really made me mad. Like, it really, really legitimately made me mad, and it made me not give a shit about the long-running series. I know that's not fair. You know, that's a pretty narrow-minded way for me to look at it. I realize that, but I can't help it. You know, you show me something and make me really, really like it, and then take it away from me and say it's not canon anymore. How do you expect me to react? 43-year-old man-child, okay?
Yeah. The thing is that what Disney should have done is they should have taken the time to make sure that the three stories for the trilogy actually lined up and actually connected to each other.
Like I said, one baffling decision after another. You buy the franchise, you immediately throw away half of it. You create a trilogy without having any plan whatsoever. No coherent story. No overarching trajectory of where the story's going to go over the course of the 3 movies. No, you just make a movie and then crap out something else after that and try to course correct. Inner peace. Inner peace.
Why is it that it takes somebody from the outside to create a product that Lucasfilm and Disney should have created but didn't create, yet a person from the outside did create it, and I believe that it's going to be way more successful than any other licensed Disney property.
Are you talking about the Power Saber?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Yeah, I agree. We need to get the word out, and like you said, you know, I would like to see this become the standard in lightsaber products. You know, this level of ingenuity, this, you know, Star Wars, the fans are making the best stuff. Retro Blasting said it, and I will wholeheartedly agree with that. The fans make the best stuff. It's true in the Star Wars universe, it's true in the Star Trek universe.
I believe that.
This video has turned into an hour of just, we're all over the place.
That's okay.
I like Star Trek Discovery, I like Strange New Worlds, I like Lower Decks, I like Prodigy. The only new Star Trek that's come out that I didn't like was Picard. So, as far as I'm concerned, the showrunners right now for Star Trek have a pretty good track record.
Well, I watched like the first season of Lower Decks, and I can't stand it.
I mean, that's fair. I love it, but what don't you like about it?
When it came to Lower Decks, it just seems to me like the storyline was like all over the map. Like, it wasn't, they sacrificed storytelling for comedy, and that never works in Star Trek. And I saw like the first episode of Prodigy, and I was like, no thank you. But Strange New Worlds, I'm jury's still out, because whoever is managing that show is at least trying.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, the entire cast, you know, breaking out into song like it's High School Musical, I mean...
My favorite episode thus far. That might be one of my favorite episodes of all of Star Trek and in all of Star Trek's history, to be honest with you. Yeah, how can you not think that wasn't so perfectly well done? I'm not going to start a fight with you over it. I mean, you're totally entitled to your opinion. Some people just don't like musicals just on principle. No matter what, they're automatically not going to like it.
Well, the thing is, you know, doing a Star Trek musical just didn't sit well.
That's fair.
But in all honesty, they did a good job.